Hello, my name is Brayton Oski.
And I'm Austin Morales, and you're listening to The Inner Gamer On.
And today we'll be talking about video gaming as an adult. We're getting older, y'all. And as a result of that, things are a little bit different now. You know, we're like having to pick what games we play, be more specific. And we just kind of want to brainstorm on that, noodle on this idea a little bit and talk about how we decide what to play and what challenges we have to face in the future, you know? So let's talk about it right now. Right here, right now, right now, right now.
And as always, if you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and bang that bell, because we know you want to. Yeah.
I was talking to Jason last night. He said he picked it up.
He was telling me about that. He said he's been playing nonstop.
Yeah.
I was like, that's great. I wish I could. I have a hard time for this one. Like after I've played the first 4 hours, I've been finding it harder and harder to pick up. I think it's because some of the dialogue and pacing is just kind of like, do I want to spend an hour playing this game right now?
Yeah.
Which sucks.
And that's the other thing too. I think that's with us, because like I was talking to my friend at work, Julia. She's she picked this game up, and she's very much she gets a game, she plays it to it be finished, and then she moves on to her next one. But she doesn't really switch to anything else until she finishes that one she's on.
Right.
So like she's like, since I've known her, like she picked up Borderlands 3. I don't know if she actually beat Borderlands 3, because she was kind of like a lot of people, like just it wasn't enough like of interest and stuff like that. So I think she gave up on that. But then she got into Spider-Man, finished that. Once she finished that, then she jumped into what's the game that just came out? Death Stranding. Mm-hmm. She played all of that, like completely finished it. And I'm like, dang, that's impressive, because I don't know. I don't know if I can go back and finish it. That's a struggle I have. Yeah. And then she's playing Final Fantasy, and now she's playing Civ 6 on PS4. But like, she already beat Final Fantasy. So I
used to be able to do that, like definitely in high school and mostly in college. That's how I play games. Like, I'm not playing anything else to beat this game. I mean, at the same time, I didn't have the expendable money that I do now to go out and buy whatever I want, whenever I want. So it's just the backlog begins to grow, and it's hard to. I mean, the next best thing comes out, and I want to experience it to the best of my ability. And things get pushed to the side. It kind of sucks, man. It kind of sucks.
I know things are going to change. I was interviewing somebody the other day, or trying to get a freelancer to help me out my job, and we got to talking about video games, because he had mentioned that when he was doing like programming, he had made a Resident Evil 2 fan page back in the day, like with the original Resident Evil 2.
Oh, nice.
I was like, oh, cool. Did you play the remake? And he's like, well, he's got a kid now and all that stuff, so he doesn't have the time that he used to. So he has Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's his game. That's all he touches. Because he's like, when he's done with kids and he's done with parenting and all the things that he's got to do, he jumps into Red Dead Redemption, and he can get lost in this world and be a different person for a while. Yeah. And that's like the only thing that he plays. And I was talking about how like that's definitely a thing that I've heard as a trend of like what certain casual gamers are that probably listen to our podcast, or whether you do or don't. And if you do listen to our podcast, I'd love to hear from you. If you are this type of person that like you play one game at a time, and that is your game. And I'm curious to know, like, what is that game you're playing right now? And like, what are some reasons why you do that? I mean, it sounds like it's often because of, you only have time for a game.
Right.
So pick a game that you can play hours on. And I think that's a lot of why we've seen all these games evolve into, adding more and more stuff into it.
Right.
I mean, like playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I mean, I could play that for years probably and not find all the, well, not years, but a year, and not find all the things that there are to do in this game,
right,
to keep you going.
Right.
I think that's a lot of people want now.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, like, for him, if he played that game, he would probably want to play it all the time. It's an only 8-hour game, and I think it's, something that he could complete. And
which game?
Resident Evil 3.
Oh, yeah.
And like a decent amount of time. It's 8 hours. I wish more games were 8 hours, because like me and Lizette watched Bad Boys 2, and it's a fairly long movie, but I want movies I can go back to and watch and experience again and again, every so many years, and just like have that same feeling, But with games, some of them are like 20, 30 hour, 50 hour epics, and it's just like, after I complete it the first time, I don't want to go back and complete them again. It's just too long.
Yeah, you're not going to go back and play a
right.
50-hour. Like you're not going to play Death Stranding twice.
No.
I mean, some people might, but
Oh
you're
yeah,
not going to
some
want
people
to.
for sure. But like most people, I don't think. I think when there's a game that's so good, it becomes a selfish act to want to play it. Because I say that because like my girlfriend, she wants to spend time with me, and if a new game comes out that I really love, like I really want to play it. Now she actually started playing. She started The Last of Us. Not too long ago, and she's like, "Yeah, this looks like a great story, and I really want to play it." To like know, because I always talk about it for everything when I reference games and story and stuff like that. And she's just like, "Yeah, this is really good." And that first scene, I forgot how, like, I always talk about how great that beginning intro mission is, but man, is it fucking good! Like from starting to the gameplay is meaningful. You're not just running around fighting stuff. Like you're going from point A to point B. There's good diet, like all the fat's trimmed off, right? And you just get exactly what you need to push that story forward. And then the dramatic thing happens, which I don't want to spoil still. And then you go straight into the like intro credits, and it's just that is how I want my movie game to be. It's just seamless, pushing the story forward, and super epic, and I am sucked in like to that thing. And we don't get that enough in video games. But I mean, it's a weird medium, man. Like I think maybe what I want is just is too much movie and not enough gameplay. Because I play when I play some games, like some parts in Final Fantasy, like they have those epic cinematic parts. But then other parts, it's just very gamey, where it's just run around, slash some things, kill some enemies. Nothing's really happening. There's some dialogue here, and it's just like, where are the cinematics? Push me forward in this freaking story. I'm just wasting time here. But maybe that's just because I'm older and I don't have all the time in the world anymore.
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up, because I was listening to some people talk about that exact thing, and like specifically on PlayStation and their exclusive lineups that they always have, and that, they're always regarded as like these high and mighty great games. But then they were given a counter argument of like, really, if you think about it, and this is their words, not mine, but like they were saying, if you think about it, there aren't really like PlayStation games have a formula where they're very story driven, heavily story driven, but the gameplay is kind of the same thing. Like you're doing like an action adventure kind of situation. I mean, if you look at Horizon Zero Dawn, if you look at The Last of Us, you look at Uncharted, you look at Spider-Man, you look at all these different games, like they're very similar in their formula in a way. And I thought about that. And I was like, they're kind of right, but there isn't any branching. I mean, you don't have any crazy epic, other than Bloodborne, like epic wild RPGs that I can think of that have come out of there that are like the Witcher level RPG.
Yeah.
That's a PlayStation exclusive. Or you don't have anymore, you don't have like a huge racing game franchise. I mean, they have Gran Turismo, but they haven't really pushed on that much. You don't have a big like shooter title that has come from like the PlayStation. I mean, we used to have kind of Killzone, but that's kind of, for me, a B level. I mean, I wouldn't consider it like up, on the top echelon of shooter games.
Yeah.
So like there isn't that in existence. And you look at what's coming out, we got what just came out, Death Stranding, third-person action adventure game. Ghost of Tsushima, third-person action adventure game. The Last of Us, third-person action adventure game. Yeah, it's interesting. Like there is kind of a formula to what makes good PlayStation games, but they're all wrapped around this idea that their stories are always fucking good.
Or maybe that's the secret recipe to a good story game.
Yeah,
third person action adventure.
Yeah,
if that's
but
the
it's
case,
not. But
okay.
you don't want to
yeah, right, true.
You want to like change it up and like have different types of experiences. Because
right.
I mean,
well, maybe that's what sells for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is, but I did think that was kind of interesting because I mean, if you look at the lack of stuff that's come out, but I mean, if you look at what Xbox has brought out, I mean, they do have Gears of War, which is a shooter, but it's third-person shooter.
Right.
You got Halo, which is definitely a shooter. Right. You have Sea of Thieves, which is like a open world exploration, but it's not really it's kind of action adventure, but not really in the same vein because it's got the co-op elements and all that stuff. So there's a bit of diversity there. There's just not enough.
Right.
And then with PlayStation, like they have this formula that they know is going to be pretty solid in most cases and do really, really well. But I don't know. I'm with that said, I'm kind of hoping that PlayStation 5 kind of does change that up a little bit and breaks the mold into other genres that we haven't really seen much from them before.
Right.
And changes it up a little bit. And I'm not sure who or what studio that they have under their belt would be right for that, but I feel like they could do that and pull it off.
For sure.
So,
For
yeah.
sure.
Anyway, it's interesting.
Yep.
But I mean, Godfall, I'm hopeful that that's going to be good, and that's different because that's like a looter shooter, kind of situation.
Yeah.
That's looking to be a bit of a different kind of approach than what they've done thus far. So
Right.
we shall see.
Yeah,
we
man.
shall see. All right. Well, anything else you got?
Yep. That's it.
Cool. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the games we play this week. If you want to play games with us each and every week, you can join us in our Discord channel. You can check out that link in the show notes. If you like what you hear, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or sharing this episode with a friend. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for our video game news.